My name is Tesfai Talila. Looking at the impressive roster of previous speakers, keynote speakers at the YEP Gala, some of you might be wondering who the heck this guy is. You're not wrong. If you haven't heard of me, I'm just a regular Ethiopian American with a heart larger than I can carry and a philanthropic brain that never stops spinning with ideas to solve problems of others. I hold no patents to my name. I made no scientific discoveries. But what I do have is a story, my life story, my journey, which I hope will resonate with your everyday life more than scientific discoveries. Like many of you, I was born and raised in Ethiopia. My early life was filled with challenges and struggles, but also resilience and determination. I was born in a small city called Bofa, as the fourth child to two loving parents. When I was 2 years old, my father found a job in Adama, and we moved to Adama from the city of Bofa. In a relatively good middle-class life, in addition to his primary job in one of the manufacturing companies in Adama, he also joined the then Derg politics. He continued to help people day and night and build communities. When I was a 9-year-old boy, the Derg regime actually fell, and every single politician, including my humble father, was imprisoned without questions. Like many other Ethiopians, my father had no savings, and my mother, a housewife, was only sixth grade education. She couldn't really know what to do with us. With a heavy heart and very few belongings, my mother, older brother, and I went out to Bofa. My brother and I became shepherds and farmers. The transition was a harsh reality that our young minds resisted painfully. We couldn't drink the dark river water, and at night we were terrified of the pitch black small hut barely illuminated by a single smoky gasoline lamp. For the first few weeks, my brother and I cried nearly every day. But my resilient mother wasted no time. She plunged into farming and managed to put food on the table. However, it was just enough for food, nothing else. So my brother and I, we had to stop going to school for 2 years. Well, after 2 years of hard work and perseverance in Bofa as farmers as well as shepherds, a glimmer of hope arrived. My oldest sister graduated as a teacher, and she sent a word that she could afford to pay for our schooling. That opportunity reignited my curiosity for passion for learning. It taught me the value of education and the power of resilience. It reminded me of the importance of family, community, and the unyielding support they can provide even in the darkest times. Both my brother and I then returned to school. As harsh as it was, the 2 years without formal education taught us the power of appreciation and valuing what we had. Although I hated school before this experience, I came back as one of the most dedicated and hardest working students for the rest of my academic life. I remained at the top of my class from the time I graduated from medical school. I was traumatized and frankly paranoid about losing what I thought I had for certain. As soon as we returned to Bofa, I got sick with severe form of malaria. My mother had taken me to Adama for diagnosis and treatment. I was so ill that my mother cried nonstop, pleading with the doctor to save my life. The doctor did what he could, and luckily I recovered. During our follow-up, my mother took me back to that same doctor. And in questioning, he asked what medications I was taking when I was sick. Unfortunately, my mother did not know which medications I was taking. But luckily, I told them I was taking medication X, Y, and Z. The doctor was very surprised with my swift response, and he said, wow, this kid is going to become a doctor. I was happy, not because I knew what being a doctor entailed, but because the life-changing impact his words had on my mother. From then on, I wanted to become a doctor just to make someone's mother happy. Fast forward, during my very first day in my clinical rotation at Addis Ababa University Black Lion Hospital, I encountered an 18-year-old young lady who had a major stroke. At the time, my young brain could not reconcile how and why would an 18-year-old young girl would develop a stroke. My attending physician then explained that if left untreated, a simple strep throat can damage the heart valves, leading to heart rhythm disturbance that can culminate in major stroke. Seeing that 18-year-old girl and her family suffer was the moment that the idea of becoming a cardiologist was conceived in my novice heart and ambitious brain. Fast forward, 8 years of medical school came to an end. I graduated as the gold medalist in my class and named the best medical student of 2008 by the Ethiopian Medical Association. After graduation, I was graciously recruited as an assistant professor of medicine at Addis Ababa University. I served in this position for a year and a half, and my passion for cardiology remained at an all-time high as I continued to see more patients with heart disease. Today, cardiovascular disease is the #1 cause of death in the world, with over 18 million people dying globally per year. And the most disheartening fact of all this is that 80% of the mortalities occur in low and middle-income countries like Ethiopia. Vast majority of these morbidities and mortalities happen due to heart attacks, stroke, and valvular heart disease. Just based on conservative estimates, in Ethiopia alone, there are 15,000 patients waiting for life-saving cardiac surgeries. So many young Ethiopians, like the one I saw in my first day of medical school, the 18-year-old girl, they're still waiting for you and me to do something about their condition. And over the last 7 years, I have carved out a very successful cardiology program. And almost 2 years ago, Heart Attack Ethiopia was born in USA as a nonprofit organization focused on improving cardiovascular services in Ethiopia and beyond. Since our inception, we have mobilized an army of volunteers and conducted 2 very successful missions where we conducted over 120 life-saving cardiac surgeries and interventional cardiology procedures. We treated 120 patients, which doesn't really look like a big number when you look at it from a 15,000 number of patients that are waiting. However, we also started just over a year ago, and we touched 120 families. Our charity also has a unique flavor to it. Unlike the many wonderful charities before us, we don't believe in sustaining mission, but building local capacity, train the next generation of cardiovascular specialists and cardiac surgeons. In fact, our motto at Heart Attack Ethiopia is, quote, "We do mission to end mission," close quote. As I draw my speech to a close, I wish to leave each of you with a thought that may provoke introspection and inspire action. To all Africans, I invite you to ponder this question. No matter how you define success, it is more achievable when we strive together than alone. What truly ails Africa today? Is it lack of knowledge, lack of education, access, money, or some of our challenges are in fact self-inflicted. I also have a message for the global community, especially Europe and North America. Africa today stands as a testament to humanity's ancient roots, with some of the oldest civilization known to history. It's also a continent of remarkable dynamism, being the fastest growing and youngest, with the majority of the population under the age of 25. While I cannot foresee if our planet Earth will ultimately thrive or if a multi-planetary civilization is imperative, I am certain of one thing, that if the Earth is going to succeed, it must do so with Africa. To African scholars in the continent of Africa, we must confront a difficult truth. Some of our wounds are in fact self-inflicted. It is time to awaken to this reality, seize internal conflicts, and unite. If we do not take responsibility for our destiny, no one else will. The challenges facing Africa should and must be addressed by Africans. Look beyond immediate grievances and solve your issues through dialogue and negotiations. War, initiated without deep consideration, carries devastating long-term consequences that are already ravaging some nations. To the African diaspora, to you, you are the beacon of hope and guidance for those that we left behind. Your support is crucial, regardless of local circumstances. You pose access to resources and opportunities beyond imagination. And our young nonprofit is a testament to that. Just in the last year and a half, we mobilized a resource of $1.7 million to support our people just by leveraging America. That way we reached to over 120 patients. However, more importantly, utilize advantages in the countries that you call home to bring back systems and innovations to your place of origin in whatever field you excel. Most importantly, identify and thrive on your areas of expertise and be well informed about the world. But please, please, please refrain from being a self-proclaimed expert on every issue that is happening in Africa, which will have lasting consequences on your people back home. Words have consequences. You are a doctor, a lawyer, a political analyst, and a politician with aspirations for office all at the same time. Perhaps it is time for you to evaluate your passion. You can't do it all and do it well. And to the African American brothers and sisters, the path to success at home. There is a proud reason why the term Africa precedes America in African American, a distinction not made for Americans of European descent. It serves as a reminder, in my view, that the ancestral home requires attention and healing. Therefore, if you are among the influential figures like the Tyler Perrys, Oprah Winfrey's, and Barack Obama's of the world, I implore you to extend your vision beyond local communities. Harness your power, wealth, and influence to positively impact Africa. And I genuinely believe that external recognition is hollow if the root is in turmoil. Africa is home for all, but especially for you. Finally, I cannot conclude this speech without expressing my incredible gratitude to my amazing wife and wonderful 4 children. I love you deeply. To my mother, you are my unwavering foundation, and my remarkable father, you are the most amazing person I have ever seen. Thank you, and have a wonderful night.